Hello, welcome to the Learn English Lab.
Hi there.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into 100 valuable GRE vocabulary words.
That's right. And it's quite a list.
It is. Our mission isn't just rote memorization, though. It's about really understanding these words, getting a feel for them, and, making them a functional part of your English vocabulary.
Exactly. We want you to be able to use them confidently.
We'll explore terms from intrepid all the way through morose. We'll give you the meanings, show them in action with example sentences,
And connect them to real-life situations you might actually encounter. Make them relatable.
Think of this as your shortcut to feeling, confident and well-informed when you see these advanced English words.
We've got a pretty robust set here, and the aim is definitely to unpack each one, provide clarity, context.
So you can integrate them naturally.
Right, into your speaking, your writing. We'll move through them logically, definitions, examples, those everyday links to help solidify things.
Okay, sounds good. Let's get started. First up, intrepid.
Intrepid.
This describes someone who is fearless, brave, especially when things are difficult.
Facing challenges head on.
For instance, you might say, the intrepid explorer ventured into the dangerous jungle.
Classic adventure stuff.
And for a real-world example, you could think of Malala Yousafzai, her advocacy for girls' education.
Oh, absolutely. Facing serious threats, but her courage, it never wavered.
Yeah.
That's intrepid.
It implies a kind of active bravery, doesn't it? Not just not being scared, but willing to face danger.
Yeah, resilience is part of it, too.
Yeah.
A refusal to be deterred. Makes you think about historical figures who stood firm, even at great personal risk.
Okay, next up, intrinsic.
Intrinsic.
This means belonging to the essential nature of something.
Part of its core being.
Like, her intrinsic kindness was evident in her small acts of generosity.
It's just who she is.
Or think about the value we often feel a handwritten letter has compared to, say, a quick text.
Good one. There's an inherent personal quality there, an intrinsic value that digital stuff often lacks.
Yeah, it emphasizes those core qualities, not something added on, but deeply ingrained. You can't quite replicate that emotional resonance digitally.
It's part of its essence.
Moving along, we have inundate.
Inundate.
This means to overwhelm, often with a large quantity.
Like being flooded.
The example is, the company was inundated with customer inquiries after the product launch.
Happens all the time.
Or coastal communities during a hurricane, they can literally be inundated with water, a truly overpowering situation.
Yeah, inundated really gets across that feeling of being swamped, almost unmanageably so. It's excessive.
Our next word is inure, I-N-U-R-E.
Inure.
Right. Meaning to become accustomed to something unpleasant through prolonged exposure.
Getting used to the bad stuff.
Of doctors working in emergency rooms become inured to chaos.
They have to, I suppose.
Or soldiers in training, they become inured to really tough conditions.
It's a process, isn't it? Adaptation. Not that the unpleasantness goes away, but your sensitivity to it lessens. It could be a coping mechanism.
Yeah, a vital one sometimes.
Okay.
Then we have invective.
Invective. Sounds harsh.
It is. It refers to harsh, abusive language.
Okay.
The example. The politician's speech contained invective.
Unfortunately common.
And you see it online all the time, right? Discussions descending into angry, insulting language instead of actual debate.
It's that intensely critical, often personal attack. Language meant to denigrate, not discuss. Worrying for civil discourse.
Definitely. Our next word is inveigle.
Inveigle, that sounds sneaky.
It is. It means to persuade someone using flattery or trickery.
Manipulation.
Like the salesman inveigled customers with promises.
Promises they couldn't keep, probably.
And sadly, scammers often inveigle vulnerable people, tricking them.
Yeah, the core here is using cunning, artifice, exploiting desires or weaknesses. It's definitely got a negative feel, deceitful.
Following that is investiture.
Investiture, formal sounding.
It is. It's the formal ceremony of conferring a right or title.
Like getting knighted.
Or the example is the investiture of the new university president.
Got it.
Another example you might see is the formal seating of a Supreme Court justice. That's an investiture.
So the key is the public ceremonial nature. A formal recognition, validation of a new position or honor, often with tradition involved.
Exactly. Next, we have invidious.
Invidious.
Means likely to arouse resentment or offense.
Okay. Something that causes bad feelings.
Like the manager's invidious decision caused resentment. maybe it seemed unfair.
Right.
And you hear about invidious workplace policies sometimes, the kind that could lead to legal issues because they're discriminatory.
Yeah, the problem with something invidious is it breeds negativity, disharmony, unfair comparisons, preferential treatment, creates tension.
Definitely something to avoid. Okay, our next word is irascible.
Irascible.
Means easily angered, quick-tempered.
Got it. Cranky.
The example is, the irascible old man shouted at children.
Stereotypical, but clear.
And anyone in customer service has likely dealt with an irascible customer, right? Someone easily provoked.
Oh, yeah. Requires a lot of patience to handle effectively. It's that quick temper, reacting angrily to minor things. Challenging.
Very. Moving on, we have irresolute.
Irresolute, so not resolute.
Exactly. Uncertain or unable to decide. Hesitant.
Indecisive.
The example sentence. Her irresolute attitude frustrated her advisors.
I can imagine.
And in a crisis, an irresolute leader can really struggle to give clear guidance.
Yeah, the consequences in action, right? Missed opportunities, stagnation, loss of confidence from people looking for direction. Firm decisions are often vital.
True. Next up is itinerant.
Itinerant.
This describes someone who travels from place to place, nomadic, essentially.
It's constantly moving.
Like the itinerant musician performed at festivals.
Makes sense.
You also see itinerant workers, people who follow seasonal jobs from one location to another.
Right. So the defining thing is that mobile lifestyle dictated by worker choice. Constant movement, not settled.
Then we have itinerary.
Related, but different.
Yes. An itinerary is a detailed plan for a journey.
The schedule.
The example. The travel agency provided a detailed itinerary. A good plan helps you maximize your time when you're traveling.
Absolutely. The value is the structure, the organization, a clear roadmap, using time and resources effectively for the trip's goals.
Our next word is jargon.
Jargon. We all know this one, probably.
Probably. It's specialized vocabulary understood only by a particular group or profession.
Insider language.
Like, the doctor used medical jargon that confused the patient.
Happens all the time. Drives people crazy.
Or tech professionals, they have tons of jargon, like cloud computing or synergize.
Right. And while it can be precise for insiders, it's definitely a barrier for anyone outside that group. The example makes that clear.
Following that is jettison.
Jettison. Sounds like throwing something.
It is. To discard or throw overboard. Often something unwanted or unnecessary.
Getting rid of ballast.
The example. The startup decided to jettison outdated software.
Smart move. Cut the dead weight.
Or sailors in a storm might jettison cargo to lighten the ship.
Right. It implies a deliberate removal, often in a critical situation, to improve things or even survive.
Next, we have jingoism.
Jingoism. That sounds political.
It often is. It's extreme patriotism, but the kind that favors aggressive foreign policy.
Overly nationalistic and aggressive.
Example. The politician's jingoism alienated allies.
Not surprising.
Sadly, this kind of extreme nationalism can really escalate tensions between countries.
Yeah, the danger is that fervent nationalism fostering conflict, damaging relationships, prioritizing your nation above all else, often at the expense of diplomacy.
Our next word is jocular.
Jocular. Sounds happier.
It is fond of joking, playful, good humor.
Lighthearted.
Example. His jocular remarks lighten the mood.
Nice. Humor helps.
And a jocular teacher, one with a cheerful manner, can make learning much more enjoyable.
Totally. That jocular attitude creates a relaxed, positive vibe. Humor builds connections, fosters engagement.
Moving on to judicious.
Judicious. Sounds like judgment.
Related. It means showing good judgment. Wise. Prudent.
Making smart choices.
Example. Her judicious investment in renewable energy paid off.
Good for her. And the planet.
Wise financial planning for families or businesses, that's judicious. It's really important for stability.
Right. Being judicious means careful thought, foresight, sensible decisions leading to positive outcomes. Prudent choices based on consideration.
Then we have juncture.
Juncture. A point in time.
A critical point in time, yes. Or a place where things join, but often used for time. A turning point.
A crossroads.
Example. At this critical juncture, the company had to decide its future.
High stakes.
Leaders often face critical junctures during global crises, needing to make big decisions.
Yeah, a juncture signifies a pivotal moment. Important decisions with significant impact.
Yeah.
A moment of consequence, potential change.
Our next word is juxtapose.
Juxtapose. Placing things side by side.
Exactly. Placing them side by side, usually for comparison or contrast.
Highlighting differences or similarities.
Example, the artist juxtaposed vibrant colors with dark themes.
Creates tension, interest.
News outlets often juxtapose images, like showing extreme wealth right next to extreme poverty, to make a point.
Right. The purpose is drawing attention to that contrast or connection, creating an effect or underscoring an idea.
Following that is keen,
Keen.
meaning sharp, perceptive, or intense.
Like a keen mind or keen eyesight.
Both. Example, her keen insight into market trends made her a sought-after consultant.
She sees things others don't.
Or a keen detective spots subtle clues that everyone else misses.
Right. Keen senses or intellect mean a heightened ability to perceive and understand, noticing details.
Our next word is kindle.
Kindle, like starting a fire.
Exactly. To ignite or stir up can be literal fire or figurative.
Stirring up emotions or interest.
Example, the speaker kindled a passion for learning in the students.
That's a great teacher.
Social media campaigns can be very effective at kindling interest in social causes.
True. So kindling is about initiating or arousing something, a flame, an emotion, an interest, the start of something significant.
Then we have kinetic.
Kinetic, relating to motion.
Example, the kinetic energy of the dancers was captivating.
Their movement was powerful.
You also hear about kinetic sculptures, ones that are designed to move, powered by wind or motors.
Right. Kinetic energy is the energy of motion. Anything kinetic is characterized by movement.
Our next word is knell, K-N-E-L-L.
Knell, like a bell tolling.
Exactly. The sound of a bell rung solemnly, especially for a death or disaster.
A very somber sound.
Example, the church bell's knell echoed through the village.
So it's a mournful scene.
Figuratively, the closure of a major factory could be called the death knell for a small town's economy.
Ah, yeah. So it carries that powerful association with endings, loss, impending doom, symbolic weight, a definitive conclusion.
Moving on to kudos.
Kudos, praise.
Yes, praise or recognition for an achievement.
Giving props.
Example, she earned kudos for her innovative project.
Well-deserved, hopefully.
Volunteers often receive kudos, or at least they should, for their hard work in the community.
Absolutely. Kudos is that acknowledgement, approval for something praiseworthy or successful.
Our next word is lachrymose.
Lachrymose sounds tearful.
It is. Means tearful or mournful. Prone to weeping.
Okay, sad.
Example, the lachrymose atmosphere at the memorial service was palpable.
Understandable.
A really sad scene in a movie might be described as lachrymose, intended to make the audience cry.
Right. Lachrymose describes sadness, often accompanied by actual weeping. Strong sense of sorrow and grief.
Then we have lackluster.
Lackluster, lacking luster.
Pretty much. Lacking in vitality or brilliance, dull, uninspired.
Not very exciting.
Example, the team's lackluster performance disappointed fans.
They didn't play well.
Or a product launch could be lackluster if it doesn't generate much buzz or excitement.
Yeah, something lackluster fails to impress. Lacks energy, passion, quality. Doesn't stand out.
Our next word is laconic.
Laconic, using few words.
Exactly. Using very few words. Concise, sometimes almost bluntly so. Terse.
Brief, to the point.
Example, his laconic reply surprised everyone used to his usual chatter.
Said very little.
A very brief, laconic text message can sometimes leave you wondering, wanting more details.
True. It's communication characterized by brevity, absence of unnecessary words. Straight to the point.
Following that is lament.
Lament, to express sorrow.
Yes, sorrow or regret. To mourn.
Feel sad about something lost.
Example, she lamented the loss of her childhood home.
Deeply missed it.
People often lament environmental damage, expressing sadness about what's being lost.
Right. To lament is to express that deep sorrow, grief, regret over something unfortunate, an emotional expression.
Our next word is lampoon.
Lampoon, like satire.
Exactly, to publicly criticize using ridicule, irony, or sarcasm. To satirize.
Making fun of someone or something to criticize it.
Example, the comedian's show lampooned political figures.
Common target for comedians.
Satirical shows like Saturday Night Live often lampoon current events and public figures. It's comedy, but often with a critical edge.
Yeah, the purpose of a lampoon is using humor and satire to criticize, often targeting those in power or the public eye.
Then we have landmark.
Landmark, an important place or event.
Yes, a significant or notable feature, building, or event, something that stands out.
Like the Eiffel Tower.
Exactly, that's a physical landmark, but it can also be an event. Example, The Supreme Court's decision was a landmark ruling.
A really important defining decision.
Right, so a landmark stands out as significant, memorable, whether physical or historical.
Got it.
Our next word is languid.
Languid. Slow and relaxed.
Yes, slow and relaxed, lacking energy or effort, listless.
Sort of droopy.
Example, after a long day working in the garden, she felt languid.
Tired, relaxed.
People often feel languid on a really hot, humid summer day. No energy.
Definitely. Languid describes that state of weariness, low energy, often associated with relaxation, inactivity, or fatigue.
Following that is larceny.
Larceny. That's theft.
It is. Theft of personal property. Example, he was charged with larceny for stealing electronics.
Simple enough.
Shoplifting is a form of larceny.
Right. The unlawful taking of someone's property with intent to keep it.
Our next word is largesse, sometimes spelled Largesse.
Largesse. Generosity.
Yes, generosity in bestowing money or gifts upon others. Generous giving.
Big-heartedness, especially with money.
Example, the philanthropist's largesse funded a new hospital wing.
A large, generous donation.
A wealthy donor's largesse can make a huge difference for nonprofits and charities.
Yeah, largesse suggests a generous, often substantial act of giving, usually from someone with plenty to share.
Then we have lassitude.
Lassitude. Sounds like languid.
Similar, it's a state of physical or mental weariness, lack of energy, fatigue, lethargy.
Feeling totally worn out.
Example, after weeks of overtime, lassitude set in among the team.
Burnout.
Students can definitely experience lassitude during intense exam periods, just drained.
Yeah, lassitude is that feeling of extreme tiredness, weariness, lack of motivation, often from prolonged effort or stress.
Our next word is latent.
Latent.
Hidden.
Exactly. Existing, but not yet developed or obvious.
Yeah.
Hidden or concealed. Potential.
Underlying.
Example. Her latent talent for painting emerged later in life.
Didn't know she had it in her.
Many people have latent skills or abilities that only surface given the right circumstances or opportunity.
Right. Latent qualities are present but not yet visible or active, waiting for the right conditions to be revealed.
Following that is laudable.
Laudable. Worthy of praise.
Yes, deserving praise and commendation. Praiseworthy.
Admirable.
Example, the organization's laudable efforts helped the homeless community.
Good work. Deserving recognition.
A teacher's laudable dedication going above and beyond for their students inspires others.
Absolutely. Something laudable is worthy of admiration because of its positive qualities, achievements, or the effort involved.
Our next word is lavish.
Lavish. Extravagant. Very much so. Sumptuously rich, elaborate, or luxurious. Abundant.
Over the top, maybe.
Example, they threw a lavish wedding reception with no expense spared.
Sounds expensive.
Celebrities often host lavish parties that make the news.
Right. Lavish describes something rich, luxurious, abundant, often involving great expense. Seems like no limit on resources.
Then we have lax.
Lax.
Yeah.
Like relaxed, but maybe too much.
Exactly. Not sufficiently strict, severe, or careful. Negligent or lenient.
Slack.
Example, the school's lax discipline policies led to classroom disruptions.
Not strict enough.
Lax safety protocols in a workplace can, unfortunately, lead to accidents.
Yeah, lax policies and behaviors lack rigor, attention to detail, or enforcement, can lead to negative consequences, risks.
Our next word is layperson.
Layperson, someone not an expert.
Correct. A person without professional or specialized knowledge in a particular subject, a non-expert.
Like me, when my car breaks down.
Right. Example, the doctor explained the diagnosis in terms a layperson could understand.
Avoiding the complex jargon.
Legal documents are often difficult, so sometimes they're simplified for laypersons.
Makes sense. A layperson just doesn't have that specialized training in a field.
Following that is leery. Leery.
Leery, cautious, suspicious.
Both. Cautious or wary due to realistic suspicions. Distrustful.
Hesitant because you're not sure you trust it.
Example, she was leery of the stranger's overly generous offer.
Seemed too good to be true.
Consumers are often, and rightly, leery of unsolicited emails asking for personal information.
Very true. To be leery is to be distrustful, on guard, often because you suspect danger or deception.
Our next word is legerdemain.
Legerdemain. Sounds like magic.
It often refers to magic. Skillful use of one's hands when performing conjuring tricks. Sleight of hand.
Card tricks, making things disappear.
Example, the magician's legerdemain amazed the audience.
Skillful deception.
But it can be used figuratively, too. Political legerdemain might involve clever, perhaps deceptive maneuvering or manipulation of facts.
Ah, okay. So literal sleight of hand or figurative skillful deception or trickery.
Then we have lethargic.
Lethargic, like lassitude. Sluggish.
Very similar. Lacking energy and enthusiasm. Sluggish, apathetic.
Feeling drained, unmotivated.
Example, after the heavy holiday meal, he felt lethargic and just wanted to nap.
Food coma.
A lethargic workforce, maybe due to low morale or burnout, isn't very productive.
Right, lethargic is that state of low energy, lack of motivation, sluggishness, physically and mentally.
Our next word is levity.
Levity, lightness, humor.
Yes, humor or frivolity, especially the treatment of a serious matter with humor or in a manner lacking due respect. Lack of seriousness.
Joking around when maybe you shouldn't be.
Example, her attempt to introduce levity during the series budget meeting was inappropriate.
Bad timing.
A comedian's levity can be great, but it might be risky or considered disrespectful in very somber settings.
Yeah, levity can provide lightness, but its appropriateness really depends on the context and the mood.
Following that is levy. L-E-V-Y.
Levy, like imposing a tax.
Exactly. To impose or collect a tax, fee, or fine by authority or force.
Making people pay something.
Example, the government levied a new tax on luxury goods.
Common government action.
Cities levy property taxes to fund local services.
Right. To levy is to officially impose that financial obligation or charge.
Our next word is liberal.
Liberal. Politically charged sometimes.
It can be. Generally means open to new behavior or opinions and willing to discard traditional values, broad-minded. Also refers to political views favoring social reform and progress.
Open-minded, progressive.
Example, his liberal views on education emphasized access for all.
Focused on inclusivity.
Liberal policies often support social programs and individual freedoms, but the word itself can just mean generous or abundant too.
Right, so it has a few shades of meaning. Political viewpoint, general open-mindedness, or even just generous.
Then we have libertine.
Libertine. Sounds
Yeah.
free living, maybe too free.
Often implies that. A person, especially a man, who behaves without moral principles or a sense of responsibility, especially in sexual matters. Also, someone who rejects accepted opinions in religion.
Disregarding rules, especially moral ones. Hedonistic.
Can be. Example, the libertine scandalous lifestyle shocked the conservative community.
Pushing boundaries.
Historical figures like Casanova are often cited as examples of libertines defying societal norms.
Right. Characterized by disregard for conventional moral constraints, often prioritizing personal pleasure and freedom.
Our next word is licentious.
Licentious. Similar to libertine.
Very similar, often used interchangeably, but maybe emphasizes the disregard for rules, especially sexual ones, even more strongly. Promiscuous and unprincipled in sexual matters, disregarding accepted rules.
Even more unrestrained.
Perhaps. Example, the novel's licentious characters scandalized readers in its day.
Depicting taboo behavior.
Licentious conduct in a workplace, violating moral or legal standards, can obviously have serious consequences.
Definitely. Licentious goes beyond unconventional, implying a blatant disregard for established moral or legal boundaries, often offensively so.
Following that is likewise.
Likewise, simple one, means similarly.
Yes, in the same way, also, similarly.
Me too, or in the same manner.
Example, she excelled in science, and her brother likewise showed great aptitude for it.
Both were good at it.
If one team adopts a winning strategy, other teams might follow likewise.
Makes sense. Indicates a parallel or similar action, state, or manner.
Our next word is limpid.
Limpid, clear.
Yes, clear and transparent like water. Also, easily understood, lucid.
Clear in appearance or meaning.
Example, the limpid waters of the mountain stream reflected the blue sky.
Crystal clear water.
A limpid explanation of a complex topic makes it much easier for people to learn.
Right, so physical clarity or clarity of communication. Easily comprehensible.
Then we have lionize.
Lionize. Treat someone like a lion, like royalty.
Sort of. To give someone great public attention and approval. To treat as a celebrity. To idolize.
Put them on a pedestal.
Example, the media lionized the young athlete after her Olympic victory.
Made her a huge star.
Social media influencers are often lionized, sometimes very quickly, elevated to celebrity status.
True. To lionize is to publicly admire and celebrate someone, often excessively, treating them as super important.
Our next word is lissome. L-I-S-S-O-M-E.
Lissome. Sounds graceful.
It means thin, supple, and graceful, flexible, and agile.
like a dancer.
Exactly. Example, the lissom dancer moved with effortless grace.
Elegant movement.
Gymnasts and ballet dancers typically need to be very lissom, that physical suppleness and grace.
Got it. Slender, flexible, moving with ease.
Following that is listless.
Listless, lacking energy, like lethargic again.
Yes, very similar to lethargic and languid, lacking energy or enthusiasm. Apathetic.
No, get up and go.
Example, the extreme heat wave left the entire city feeling listless.
Too hot to move or care.
A listless student, seeming uninterested and without energy, might be struggling to engage.
Yeah, listless is that state of low energy, lack of motivation, general apathy.
Our next word is livid.
Livid means really angry, right?
Furiously angry.
Enraged.
Seeing red.
You often hear about customers becoming livid over terrible service or being ripped off. Oh yeah, extremely angry. Livid expresses that very intense, often visible anger, close to rage.
Then we have log, the verb.
Log, like logging into a computer or keeping a record.
The second one, to make a systematic record of events, observations, or measurements. To record officially.
Keeping track.
Example, the ship's captain logged the coordinates and weather conditions every hour.
Standard procedure.
Fitness apps help you log your workouts, track your progress.
Right. To log something is to create that formal, often sequential record.
Our next word is loquacious.
Loquacious, talkative.
Very talkative, tending to talk a great deal, chatty, garrulous.
Likes the sound of their own voice, maybe?
Sometimes. Example, the loquacious guest dominated the dinner conversation.
Talk to everyone else's ear off.
A very loquacious salesperson might actually overwhelm clients, not giving them a chance to speak.
True. A loquacious person enjoys talking, speaks at length, quite freely.
Following that is lucid.
Lucid, like limpid, clear.
Yes, very similar. Express clearly, easy to understand, also bright or luminous. And thinking clearly, rational, like a lucid moment during confusion.
Clear understanding, clear thinking.
Example, her lucid explanation of quantum physics made it accessible.
She explained it well.
You also hear about lucid dreaming, where the dreamer is aware they are dreaming and can sometimes control it. Feels very real, very clear.
Right. Lucid communication is clear, coherent, easily understandable. Makes complex ideas accessible.
Our next word is lugubrious.
Lugubrious. That sounds sad. Like lachrymose.
Yes, looking or sounding sad and dismal, mournful, gloomy, often excessively so.
Overly sad or mournful.
Example, his lugubrious tone of voice dampened everyone's spirits.
Brought the mood down.
A lugubrious song played at a funeral evokes grief, but maybe lugubrious implies almost exaggerated gloominess sometimes.
Okay, so deep sadness, gloominess, mournfulness in appearance or tone. Often seems excessive.
Then we have lull.
Lull, a pause,
Yeah.
a quiet period.
Exactly, a temporary interval of quiet or lack of activity, a brief calm.
Like the lull before the storm.
Or example, the mother's gentle lullaby lulled the baby to sleep. That's using it as a verb, to soothe or calm. But as a noun, it's that temporary pause.
Right. A lull provides that temporary break, reduced activity, noise, or intensity.
Our next word is lumber.
Lumber, like wood. Or moving heavily.
Moving heavily. To move in a slow, heavy, awkward way, clumsily.
Like Frankenstein's monster.
Sort of. Example, exhausted, he lumbered up the stairs carrying the heavy suitcase.
Moving slowly and with effort.
Hikers might lumber back to camp after a long, tiring trek. Heavy, tired movement.
Right. To lumber implies that heavy, clumsy, often slow movement, maybe from being weighed down or tired.
Following that is luminous.
Luminous, giving off light, radiant.
Yes, emitting or reflecting light, bright or shining, radiant.
Glowing.
Example, her luminous smile brightened the whole room.
A very bright, happy smile.
A truly luminous speech can be inspiring, shedding light on an issue, having a radiant impact.
Nice figurative use. Luminous describes something producing light or reflecting it brilliantly. Radiant appearance.
Our next word is lurid.
Lurid. Sounds intense, maybe unpleasant.
It often is. Presented in vividly shocking or sensational terms, especially giving explicit details of crimes or sexual matters. Gruesome, shocking.
Sensationalized, maybe graphic.
Example, the lurid details of the crime shocked the jury.
Focused on the shocking parts.
Tabloid newspapers often use lurid headlines and stories to grab attention, focusing on the sensational and explicit.
Right. Lurid content is designed to shock. Often involves graphic, explicit details. Evokes a strong reaction, often negative.
And we have machination, often used in the plural, machination.
Machinations, schemes, Plots.
Exactly. Crafty schemes, plots, intrigues, usually with negative intent.
Secret, complex plans.
Example. The villain's complex machinations were finally uncovered by the hero.
The evil plan was revealed.
In the business world, you might hear about corporate machinations, intricate, sometimes hidden strategies or plots.
Yeah. Machinations refers to those secret, carefully planned, often deceitful plots designed to achieve a self-serving goal.
Our next word is maelstrom.
Maelstrom. Like a whirlpool.
Literally, yes, a powerful whirlpool. Figuratively, it means a situation or state of confused movement or violent turmoil, chaos.
A turbulent situation.
Example. The political scandal created a maelstrom of controversy and accusations.
Total chaos and confusion.
Social media can quickly become a maelstrom of conflicting opinions and anger during a major news event. Overwhelming.
Yeah, a maelstrom is great turbulence, confusion, often violent change. Hard to navigate or control.
Following that is magnanimous.
Magnanimous, big-hearted, generous.
Yes, very generous or forgiving, especially toward a rival or someone less powerful than oneself. Noble.
Taking the high road. Being gracious in victory or defeat.
Example. Despite the betrayal, she was magnanimous enough to forgive him.
Very forgiving.
A magnanimous leader might pardon an opponent or show generosity even after a tough competition. It's showing a noble, generous spirit.
Especially when you might feel justified in being resentful. That's key.
Our next word is magnate.
The magnate, like a business tycoon.
Exactly. A wealthy and influential person, especially in business or industry.
A mogul.
Example. The tech magnate's investments transformed the startup scene.
Big money, big influence.
People like Elon Musk or Bill Gates are often referred to as tech magnates, powerful figures in their industry.
Right. A magnate has great wealth, success, and influence in a particular field.
Then we have makeshift.
Makeshift. Improvised. Temporary.
Yes, serving as a temporary substitute, sufficient for the time being. Improvised.
Put together quickly with whatever's available.
Example. They built a makeshift shelter out of branches and tarps.
Not permanent, but it worked for now.
Using your phone flashlight during a power outage, that's a makeshift lamp. A temporary solution.
Got it. A temporary substitute created quickly from available materials.
Our next word is malediction.
Malediction. Sounds like bad words. A curse.
Exactly. A magical word or phrase uttered with the intention of bringing about evil or destruction. A curse.
Wishing bad things on someone.
Example. The old folktale spoke of a powerful malediction placed on the treasure.
Classic story element.
Folklore and fantasy stories are full of maledictions and curses.
Right. A spoken or written curse meant to bring misfortune.
Following that is malinger.
Malinger. Faking illness.
Yes, to exaggerate or feign illness in order to escape duty or work.
Pretending to be sick to get out of something.
You might suspect a student of malingering if they always seem to get a headache right before a big test.
Huh, yeah. Or an employee calling in sick on a Friday with good weather. It's pretending illness to avoid obligations.
Our next word is malleable.
Malleable. Easily shaped. Like clay.
Exactly. Able to be hammered or pressed permanently out of shape without breaking or cracking. Also, easily influenced. Pliable.
Physically bendable or mentally easily influenced.
Example. The malleable clay was perfect for sculpting. That's the physical sense.
Yeah.
Figuratively, people say young minds are malleable, easily shaped by experiences and education.
Okay. Capable of being easily shaped or influenced.
And then we have manifest.
Manifest. Obvious. Clear.
Yes, clear or obvious to the eye or mind. Evident. Apparent.
Easy to see or understand.
Example. Her relief was manifest on her face.
You could clearly see she was relieved.
The effects of climate change are becoming increasingly manifest around the world. Plain to see.
Right. Something manifest is easily noticeable, evident, unmistakable.
Our next word is mannered.
Mannered. Like having good manners.
Uh-huh.
Or artificial.
More like artificial of a person or their behavior. Artificial, stilted, or pretentious. Affected.
Trying too hard, not natural.
Exactly. Example. His mannered speech, full of elaborate phrases, seemed insincere.
Sounded fake.
A mannered performance by an actor might feel forced or overly theatrical, not genuine.
Okay. Mannered behavior is characterized by artificiality, lack of genuineness.
Following that is mar, M-A-R, mar.
To spoil or damage.
Yes, to impair the appearance or quality of. Spoil. To disfigure.
Make less perfect.
Example. A single typo marred the otherwise perfect document.
One small flaw spoiled it.
A scratch can mar the finish on a new car. damages the appearance.
Right, to mar is to damage, spoil, detract from the perfection or quality.
Our next word is martinet.
Martinet sounds strict.
Very strict, a strict disciplinarian, especially in the armed forces. Someone who demands absolute adherence to forms and rules.
A real stickler for the rules.
Example, the martinet of a coach demanded perfection and punished every mistake.
Tough coach.
A martinet teacher enforces rigid rules and expects exact compliance, no exceptions.
Right. A martinet is extremely strict, insists on absolute adherence to rules.
Then we have maudlin.
Maudlin. Overly sentimental, crying easily.
Yes, self-pityingly or tearfully sentimental, often through drunkenness. Mushy, overly emotional.
Sentimental in a cheesy or self-pitying way.
Example, his maudlin speech at the party full of tears and regrets embarrassed everyone.
Got overly emotional and awkward.
A maudlin social media post, excessively sentimental and maybe self-pitying, can seem overly dramatic.
Yeah, maudlin sentimentality is often seen as excessive, insincere, maybe slightly ridiculous.
Our next word is maverick.
Maverick.
Yeah.
An independent thinker. Someone who goes their own way.
Exactly, an unorthodox or independent-minded person. A nonconformist.
Doesn't follow their herd.
Example, the maverick scientist challenged the established theories in her field.
Went against the grain.
Entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs or Richard Branson are often described as mavericks, people who did things differently.
Right. A maverick thinks and acts independently, often challenging norms and conventions.
Following that is maxim.
Maxim, a saying, a rule.
Yes, a short, pithy statement expressing a general truth or rule of conduct, an adage or proverb.
Like honesty is the best policy?
That's a perfect example. Or actions speak louder than words. Those are maxims.
Okay, a maxim offers concise wisdom or a guiding principle.
Our next word is mendacious.
Mendacious. Sounds like lying.
It means not telling the truth.
Okay.
Lying, dishonest.
Untruthful.
Example, the mendacious politician repeatedly broke his campaign promises.
Didn't tell the truth, lied to voters.
Mendacious advertising deliberately misleads consumers. It's dishonest.
Right. Someone mendacious is characterized by a tendency to be untruthful, deceitful.
Then we have mendicant.
Mendicant. A beggar.
Yes, given to begging. Or, as a noun, a beggar.
Living by asking for charity.
Example, the mendicant friar relied on the generosity of the townspeople.
Part of certain religious orders.
You might see a mendicant asking for money on the street. Someone living by begging.
Okay.
Our next word is mercurial.
Mercurial.
Changeable.
Like mercury.
Exactly. Subject to sudden or unpredictable changes of mood or mind. Volatile, capricious.
Quick to change moods. Unpredictable.
Example, her mercurial temperament made her difficult to work with. You never knew how she'd react.
Moody and unpredictable.
A mercurial boss can create uncertainty and anxiety in a team because their reactions are hard to predict.
Yeah. A mercurial person has those unpredictable sudden shifts in mood.
Following that is meretricious.
Meretricious. Sounds flashy but fake.
That's a great way to put it. Apparently attractive, but having in reality no value or integrity. Superficially attractive, but worthless. Tawdry?
All show, no substance.
Yeah.
Deceptively attractive.
Example, the meretricious charm of the cheap jewelry quickly faded.
Looked good at first, but was actually junk.
Meretricious advertising might promise amazing things, but be based on lies. Or influencers promoting poor products just because they look appealing.
Right. Meretricious has that deceptive appearance of value, but it's really worthless or lacks integrity.
Our next word is metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis. Transformation.
A complete transformation. A profound change in form from one stage to the next in the life history of an organism, like caterpillar to butterfly. Or any complete change.
A major change.
Example, the city underwent a metamorphosis from an industrial town to a tech hub.
Completely changed its character.
The caterpillar's metamorphosis into a butterfly is the classic biological example, a fundamental, dramatic change.
Got it.
Then we have metaphysical.
Metaphysical, philosophy stuff, beyond the physical.
Yes. Relating to metaphysics, the branch of philosophy that deals with the first principles of things, including abstract concepts such as being, knowing, substance, cause, identity, time, and space. Abstract, theoretical.
Dealing with fundamental questions about reality, often quite abstract.
Example, the philosopher's metaphysical questions explored the nature of consciousness.
Deep, abstract thoughts.
Metaphysical debates can arise in discussions about artificial intelligence, the nature of reality, or the meaning of existence, beyond empirical observation.
Okay. exploring the fundamental nature of reality, existence, knowledge, abstract concepts.
Our next word is meticulous.
Meticulous, very careful, paying attention to detail.
Exactly. Showing great attention to detail. Very careful and precise. Thorough, painstaking.
Leaving no stone unturned. Very precise.
Example, her meticulous planning ensured the event ran smoothly.
She thought of everything.
A meticulous accountant catches errors others might miss. Essential for financial accuracy.
Right. Meticulous means extremely thorough, paying close attention to every detail, ensuring accuracy and precision.
Following that is milieu. M-I-L-I-E-U.
Milieu. Environment, surroundings.
Yes, a person's social environment. The setting, surroundings, atmosphere, context.
The social world someone lives in.
Example, growing up in a creative milieu influenced her artistic development.
Her surroundings shaped her.
A supportive academic milieu, the environment in a school or university, can foster innovation and learning.
Right. Milieu is the surrounding social, cultural, environmental context that influences someone or something.
Our next word is militate.
Militate. To work against something.
Yes, of a fact or circumstance, be a powerful or conclusive factor in preventing something. To weigh against.
Act as a strong obstacle.
Example, his lack of experience militated against his chances of getting the promotion.
His inexperience worked against him.
Budget cuts often militate against the success of new government programs. They are a major obstacle.
Right. To militate against something is to be a significant obstacle or disadvantage, making it less likely to happen.
Then we have mired. M-I-R-E-D.
Mired, stuck in mud, or stuck in a bad situation.
Both. Literally stuck in mud or swamp. Figuratively, involved in a difficult situation, especially one that is hard to escape from. Entangled.
Bogged down.
Example, the project became mired in delays and budget overruns.
Got stuck in problems.
A company mired in debt or scandal struggles to move forward. Deeply entangled in difficulty.
Okay. Stuck in something negative, hard to get out of.
Our next word is mirth.
Mirth, laughter, amusement.
Yes, amusement, especially as expressed in laughter. Merriment, glee.
Joy and laughter.
Example, the room filled with mirth at the comedian's hilarious joke.
Everyone was laughing.
Family gatherings and celebrations are often occasions filled with mirth and happiness.
Right. Mirth is that feeling of happiness and amusement often shown through laughter.
Following that is misanthrope, or sometimes misanthropist.
Misanthrope. Hates people.
Pretty much. A person who dislikes humankind and avoids human society. A hater of humanity.
Doesn't like being around people.
Example, the grumpy old misanthrope lived alone and rarely spoke to neighbors.
A recluse who dislikes others.
A misanthrope might avoid social events and perhaps even things like social media, prefers solitude due to a dislike of people.
Okay. Deep-seated aversion to humanity avoids social interaction.
Our next word is missive.
Missive. A letter. A message.
Yes, a letter, especially a long or official one, a written message.
Formal communication.
Example, she received an urgent missive from her lawyer.
An important letter.
Formal missives are still used in diplomacy, legal matters, and other official contexts. Written communication.
Got it.
Then we have mitigate.
Mitigate. To lessen something bad. Make it less severe.
Exactly. Make less severe, serious, or painful. To alleviate, reduce, lessen.
Ease the negative impact.
Example, planting trees can help mitigate the urban heat island effect.
Reduces the severity of the heat.
Disaster relief efforts aim to mitigate the suffering of those affected by earthquakes or floods. Lessen the pain.
Right. To mitigate is to reduce the harmful effects or severity of something negative.
Our next word is modest.
Modest. Humble. Not boastful. Or moderate.
Both meanings are common. Unassuming or moderate in the estimation of one's abilities or achievements. Humble, also relatively moderate, limited, or small. Not large or excessive.
Not showing off, or just not very big.
Example, despite her incredible success, she remained modest and down to earth. That's the humble meaning.
Doesn't brag.
Or you could talk about a modest house or a modest income, meaning not large or luxurious. Living a modest lifestyle can bring stability.
Okay. Humble or moderate, limited in size or amount.
Following that is modicum.
Modicum. A small amount.
Yes, a small quantity of a particular thing, especially something considered desirable or valuable. A little bit.
Just a small measure.
Example, with only a modicum of effort, he somehow managed to pass the exam.
Did the bare minimum.
Even a modicum of kindness or understanding can make a difference in a difficult situation. A small amount helps.
Right. A modicum is a limited or small amount.
Our next word is modish.
Modish, fashionable, stylish.
Exactly. Conforming to or following what is currently popular and fashionable. Stylish. Trendy.
In vogue.
Example. Her modish outfit and haircut turned heads at the party.
Very fashionable.
Modish interior design trends become popular for a while, then something new comes along, following current styles.
Got it. In line with current trends, fashionable.
Then we have mollify.
Mollify. To calm someone down, appease them.
Yes, appease the anger or anxiety of someone, to soothe, pacify.
Calm down someone who's upset.
Example. She managed to mollify the angry customer by offering a full refund.
Calm the customer down.
A manager might need to mollify an angry employee by listening to their concerns and finding a solution. Soothe their anger.
Right. To mollify is to soothe, calm, pacify someone angry or anxious.
Our next word is molt. M-O-L-T.
Molt. Like birds shedding feathers.
Exactly. Of an animal, shed old feathers, hair, or skin, or an old shell to make way for new growth.
Getting rid of the old outer layer.
Example. The snake molted its skin, leaving the old one behind.
Common for reptiles.
Birds molt their feathers periodically. It's a natural process of shedding and regrowth.
Okay. Shedding an outer layer for growth or seasonal change.
Following that is monastic.
Monastic. Like a monk,
Yeah.
relating to monasteries.
Yes, relating to monks, nuns, or others living under religious vows or the buildings in which they live. Also, resembling monastic life in being plain, simple, secluded, or austere.
Simple, quiet, disciplined life.
Example. He adopted a monastic lifestyle, living simply and focusing on his studies.
Lived a very simple, solitary life.
Monastic retreats offer peace, quiet, and seclusion for contemplation. An austere, quiet atmosphere.
Right. Simple, secluded, austere, like life in a monastery.
Our next word is monotony.
Monotony. Boredom. Sameness.
Exactly. Lack of variety and interest, tedious repetition and routine. Tedium, boredom from sameness.
Doing the same boring thing over and over.
Example. The monotony of her daily routine made her crave adventure and change.
Tired of the same old thing.
Office workers doing repetitive tasks often battle monotony. It can be draining. Lack of variety leads to boredom.
Yeah, monotony can lead to boredom, dissatisfaction, lack of motivation due to that unchanging routine.
Then we have moreover.
Moreover, a transition word, like furthermore.
Precisely. As a further matter, besides. In addition to what has been said. Furthermore.
Adding another related point.
For instance, the candidate was highly qualified. Moreover, she had excellent references.
Adds another supporting reason. Used to introduce an additional point that reinforces or adds to the previous one. Makes sense.
Our next word is mores. M-O-R-E-S.
Moresies, like customs, social rules.
Yes, the essential or characteristic customs and conventions of a community. Social norms, traditions, ethics of a group. Often implies moral attitudes.
The unwritten rules of a society about right and wrong.
Example, the community's traditional mores emphasized respect for elders and family.
The accepted customs and values.
Workplace mores shape the company culture, the expected ways of behaving and interacting. Deeply ingrained customs and values.
Okay. Dictate acceptable behavior within a group.
And finally, our last word for this deep dive is morose.
Morose. Sullen. Gloomy. Ill-tempered.
All of the above. Sullen and ill-tempered. Gloomy, glum, sulky.
In a bad, unhappy mood.
Example. After the team lost the championship, he became morose and withdrawn.
Understandable, but not very pleasant.
A morose mood, being consistently gloomy and ill-tempered, can definitely affect productivity and relationships.
Yeah. Morose describes that state of being sullen, gloomy, often unwilling to engage positively.
And that brings us to the end of our list. We've reached the end of our in-depth exploration of these 100 valuable GRE vocabulary words.
Quite a journey through some useful and sometimes tricky words.
We really trust that this deep dive has not only expanded your knowledge, but also, maybe more importantly, equipped you with practical ways to understand and actually use these words in your own English language journey.
Absolutely. The goal is active vocabulary, not just passive recognition.
Remember, building your vocabulary is it's an ongoing process. So keep practicing, keep incorporating these terms into your reading, your writing, your conversations.
Revisit them. Try using them in a sentence today or tomorrow.
We definitely encourage you to revisit these words and examples. And if you found this beneficial, well, we'd really appreciate it if you'd like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more language learning content.
It helps us keep creating these deep dives for you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening to the Learn English Lab.